Hello everyone, and welcome to the SCL Challenger Tournament Grand Finals. I'm your host, Lieutenant Hummus, and I am joined by my two casters. First up, you know him as he's casted most of the weeks, and he's been kind of my partner by my side, Warning Track. And the other person, a special guest for the Sunday streams. He's done a lot of the Summer Cup casts, and he is your Challenger SCL4 League Champion, Dowsy. How you doing, you two?
Doing great. Glad to be here. Glad to be casting again with you, my favorite host, Lieutenant Hummus. No offense to the other hosts. They just don't let me make fun of them as much, so it's
to the other
quite
hosts. Thank you.
100% the other hosts. Might as well just pick sides going in on it. And I'm very excited about the match tonight.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be a corker here. Both these two players are some of the finest talent that's come out of Challenger Division this season, and so essentially looking to find the champion of this single elimination with this grand final.
Why don't you tell us kind of how the Challenger tournament worked in general?
So as everyone knows, maybe not everyone, but the regular season of the SpyParty Competitive League is a 10-week system. Challenge is different though, because instead of having 6 competitors in your division, you have an open division. Anyone can sign up, and it was actually open the entirety of the season. So I think we maxed out at maybe 87 people. How much you will be able to clarify potentially.
Sure.
But it was a lot of people. And due to having so many competitors, we ran a Swiss League. Swiss League is a format where essentially people will play with opponents that have a very similar score record as as they have. So if you've gone 2-1, for example, 2 wins, 1 loss, then you'll play someone else who has 2 wins, 1 loss. And it kind of shifts people up and down into different tiers, and it means that your opponents get harder and harder, because if you are winning all your matches, then you're going to be facing up people who are winning their matches. So it's quite a punishing system. If you want to remain at the top, it's very difficult. So we had that league. It was 10 weeks of Swiss. The top 2 from Challenger got auto promotions. That's myself and Pox. And for the rest of the division, because it's such a large division, there needs to be more ways for people to get out of Challenger. And so we're running a single limb tournament. Anyone could sign up from the Challenger division to play in it. And the winner of the single limb tournament gets the auto promotion. The runner up gets to play Mr. Rogers from the Iron division in a hazard match. So that's going to be pretty exciting. But essentially the 2 people who won and came runner up in the regular season were not allowed to sign up to the single limb. So
otherwise, you definitely would have, yeah. And you say punishing. It's punishing in a competitive sense, but it's actually a lot less punishing in terms of when you sign up. That's one of the other features, is that it is variable in player size, so people could sign up after the season has started, and that's exactly what happened with one of our finalists. Lazybear did not join until week 3. And we've seen this, Dowsy, when we've seen people compete in the SCL, in this tournament, and in the Summer Cup as well. Sometimes if they join late, we don't get a good sense of their progress. They don't play as many of the top players in Challenger, and we don't know if going 4-0, for example, at the end of the season means they're very, very good, or maybe they weren't challenged properly. Lazybear kind of in between there, joining in week 3, going 6-2 from that point forward. But obviously, here they are in the finals. Obviously, that was no fluke.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're going to talk about the opponents Lazybear faced in the regular season, then they're not quite hitting the top level of Challenger players.
Just below, yeah.
Division, just below. And so it's very difficult just from Lazybear's regular season performance to know whether or not he's the real deal. But since joining and playing in the Challenger single limb tournament, he's knocked out Pofke, he's knocked out Shep, he's gone very... he's had very dominant matchups against some good players. And then also, if you want to draw results over from the Summer Cup, which has been playing alongside the single limb tournament, he's gone up against Yeesh and tied Yeesh. He went up against Namflis and had a very close set against Namflis, where he just narrowly missed out on tying up the series to be able to force tiebreaker scenarios. And so Lazybear has had a really, really strong run since the regular season, and has really proven clearly by being here in the finals that they are hot shit.
Yeah, a strong run on a rough road contrasts quite a bit with our other finalist, Turnipboy, who was the #1 seed in the tournament, which means narrowly missed one of those auto promotions, was #3 in all of Challenger. #1 seed here. The top 7 seeds got a bye. So Turnipboy skipped the first round entirely and has won every one of their matches so far by a 9-4 margin.
It's just so strange.
Yeah, Turnipboy has not had to play a close match, has had to play one fewer match, and has been the #1 seed. It's just such a study of contrast in these two, the way they've had to get here. Their roads have been so different.
And when you kind of rate the opponents Turnipboy is going up against, Belial, very strong opponent. Frosty was a very unknown opponent, but was really throwing some curveballs at some strong players. Rio knocked out Yerund in the Summer Cup, and Royal Flush as well. Both great opponents who are competing up in the gold and silver division of SCL. And then Plastics, who kind of had a really strong run for, I think, the first 7 weeks of SCL, and then kind of has faced up against the top tier of opponents and then struggled. So, those are all 4 really good opponents, and every one of them a 9-4 scoreline, which is bonkers.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be a little attrition there, win 9-4 early, 9-5 later, 9-7 against someone like Plastics. But no, just robotically, 9-4, 9-4, 9-4. Like, that's what I win by. But I'm going to say, whether Turnipboy emerges victorious or not, I think it's probably going to have to be closer against Lazybear the way they've been playing.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's prediction territory.
Yeah, we don't want to go to. We're not
just
seers or oracles, but what I can predict is that I'm gonna click the button. There we are, Turnipboy versus Lazybear. Do we have picks and bans, or are we just gonna kind of go with this? Oh, actually, that's true. You know what? The advantage of running SCL Manager is I can just pull this out of the database. Hold on.
Talk for 2 more minutes. I mean, I can predict the bans and.
All right. Well, hold on. I have them right in front of me now. Let me put them.
Would you like me to?
Yeah, I'll just turn it into a guessing game.
Let's put that up. All right. Let's see. So Lazybear.
This is the challenge.
Lazybear is going to be your first.
Lazybear bans first.
What do you think?
Okay, so Lazybear bans balcony.
100% correct. Lazybear does ban balcony. All right. Turnipboy's ban.
Which means that Turnipboy bans ballroom.
Turnipboy bans ballroom.
Lazybear picks library.
Lazybear indeed will pick library.
Oh.
Turnipboy. Oh, okay, this is where it gets tricky. Does he pick courtyard or pub? Courtyard or pub? Courtyard or pub? I'm gonna say courtyard.
He picks pub.
What are you worth,
right.
man? Come on, do your research.
I mean, I couldn't even get 3.
So we're looking for a new one. I'll just
3 out of 4.
Lazybear picks Terrace and he 3 of 5. Turnipboy goes ahead, grabs Modern 3 of 5. Lazybear takes Lazybear takes courtyard, not Turnipboy. Takes the courtyard, and then Turnipboy's last pick is going to be gallery. All right. So, interesting. You weren't expecting the gallery pick. Oh, you were?
No, I was absolutely, but it's just a fun draft. Library into pub, into terrace, into modern, into courtyard, into gallery. Like that's a nice range of different kinds of maps.
We can cast all these maps at 1 speed.
Oh. Well, let's get in. 4x speed. Let's just got places to go. All right, so. If I click this button, we should get into the game. Our first game is going to be Lazybear sniping, Turnipboy playing as Playing Twin. Make sure we're all on the same page there. Yes. Sweet.
Yes.
All right, so first map is Library. Is I'd say one of the bigger maps in the game. Notable because, well, the sniper can only see 1/3 of the screen at a time, so lots of opportunities, lots of shenanigans. There are 3 bookcases, 3 suspected double agents, lots of statues, any 5 of 8. Take it away.
Yeah, well, here we go. This is the Challenger Single Limb Tournament Grand Finals between Turnipboy and Lazybear. So let's count it in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And like noted, Turnipboy just spy first here, looking to try and break open the game with a spy win.
I'm always curious to see what someone does first on library. It's usually a flirt, but sometimes you want to rush that hardtail, and with the ambassador right next to you, it's a prime opportunity.
Yeah, no, it would be very tempting. However, we do go for the bug, then we're either doing it in conversation, or we're walking past the ambassador and throwing our hand up towards the sniper. Also, for those who don't know, Lazybear kind of snipes slightly behaviorally, and so potentially standing in conversation next to the ambassador and not bugging could be valuable in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. And Turnipboy, correct me if I'm wrong, did not time out on library in most of their their handful of competitive matches. So one way or another, whatever they do, they're going to do something.
Yep, no, absolutely. And it's quite interesting because Turnipboy, like you mentioned, hasn't timed out on library, but then also hasn't had many full mission completions either. Only mission completes around 23% of the time, meaning that oftentimes gets shot.
Now, interesting choice not to seduce at bookshelves. Goes to the adjacent pad, and that's
though.
probably why. Yeah, maybe setting that up.
Love it. However, look at that. Lazybear, well on top of the pathing there. Couldn't see the bug necessarily, but knows the risk of the bug is true and will throw a highlight for that reason.
And already, you have to imagine Turnipboy just a huge, huge suspect. But you can accumulate suspects really easily on library if there's a flurry of activity. So Turnipboy might not be in huge trouble yet.
Have to see how he does decide to play this one out. Looking for a second flirt here on to our seduction target of Irish. Going to hit a white test for 63%. And now we require a green if we want to make it 3.
Yeah, that first weak flirt is coming back to bite us a little bit here. Now you can't rely on a simple close flirt to get it done. You don't know if you're going to need 1 or 2, and that can make it very difficult to plan your end game time-wise.
Speaking of game plan, Turnipboy's library games often look the same. It's bug, into flirt, into contact, into inspect, and then we like to finish with a fingerprint if we can. Obviously, that can happen in any order, but it's a game plan that Turnipboy has kind of stuck to over the season in all of their competitive library games.
Well, here's a big exception. Does the green purloin walks away, and it is taken, and here come the lowlights from Lazybear.
Quite a few being taken here from Lazybear. Over half the party is low lit, leaving us with 4 highlights and 2 neutrals. Turnipboy stepping in for the inspects here. This could be a mission complete. Turnipboy has to consider swapping a strong move against Lazybear, but look at Lazybear. He's searching for the swap. All statues inspected. We will put it back. We want to finish on contact. We'll have to see if Lazybear is willing to shoot for a contact.
Yeah, while those lowlights were coming off, the flirt does finish. It is the green test we needed, and you're right. The timing there, inspect swap might have been powerful, but Lazybear I think would have shot for it. Turnipboy senses that correctly and holds it. Now they have a minute left to find 1 more mission.
There is a fingerprint going to be on this blue bookshelf, but with only 40 seconds left, fingerprinting could be a risky game. Taft, the double agent, puts the green book back into the shelf. Is there a fingerprint on this green book as well? Or is Turnipboy strongly considering a microfilm end?
And even though fingerprint can be less suspicious when you space it out on a map like library, if you do it all at once late and you're already a huge suspect, you can actually get shot for it more easily than something like banana bread.
Looks like the trigger was pulled. We are so tempted to shoot this plane twin here, but he hasn't committed a crime just yet. 8 seconds left. Here comes the real contact, and it's going to be a white test, forcing overtime on us.
It has to be a shot.
Lazybear's going to shoot. Yeah, with the cough, it makes it so easy. But the spy actually walks out before it even happens, meaning that we don't get the mission complete. And that's actually Turnipboy's first time out of the season.
Wow, and so close. And by the way, a too late for sync shot, even though it was for a timeout instead.
I mean, okay, so either way,
it doesn't matter. The timeout for sync doesn't matter.
Oh, no, of course. But it's interesting that it still didn't take in time. Turnipboy trying to do so many things there. It looks like they almost couldn't make up their mind. They have the book, which they can dump in shelves at any point. And as you mentioned, it looked for a moment like maybe they're going for the fingerprint. Decides to banana bread anyway. I guess maybe just hoping to add to the confusion with a split.
Yeah, so the split was, that's essentially it. But because he leaves as the banana bread gets muttered, or uttered, I should say, it means that the mission doesn't take. So he coughs, doesn't do the mission, and that's why the too late for sync comes through, because he hadn't forced overtime.
Like if there was overtime, obviously, plenty of time for sync.
Yeah, and if you're Turnipboy, maybe you're sitting there thinking, oh no, I ruined it there at the end. You really didn't, though. We saw Lazybear's sniper camera. We saw how close they were to shooting them even before that. I think Turnipboy probably didn't have a way out after those inspects.
No. And that's the reason you see Turnipboy going towards that bookshelf, because he's like, well, maybe I'm not that much of a suspect to Lazybear. Maybe I can just get away without contacting. But the fact that Lazybear's laser essentially just hovers over Turnipboy for the rest of that 30 seconds really just tells Turnipboy, nah, you are my top suspect, now make me shoot you. And unfortunately for Turnipboy, he wasn't quite able to force the mission complete to make that happen.
Yeah, combination of early suspicion with the bug and then a lot of strong, accurate lowlights from the Purloin.
Yep, so that brings us into game 2.
Yeah, game 2 here. It's going to be Lazybear opting for the other side here, the dark side of the twins bling. We'll have to see how this one plays out for Lazybear in 3, 2, 1. Playing it. Lazybear's spy game on Library, fairly strong from what I've witnessed. He's really able to pace himself well and find those time ads that can really put pressure on the sniper.
Yeah, the thing is, someone is going to look like they could complete almost every library game, so idling and time adding and getting away with it is a surprisingly viable strategy, particularly if the contact doesn't knock too many people out.
Speaking of those time ads, a green one will kick us off here, chucking another 45 seconds on the clock. As of course, with the green time ads, you get time added to your clock. However, the sniper, it slows down, and seemingly, Turnipboy may have seen it because 2 highlights come out.
Yeah, and I think 5 people highlight already, maybe? I wonder if this is the time ad group. These are the people who I think might have done it.
I believe that would be the case here. We do have Lazybear flirting. Across the conversation, white test for 27. Toby the waiter will offer a drink as well, but I do prefer not purloining at the start of the game, because whilst it can be good for low light fishing, it oftentimes just gives the sniper less things to look for.
Much more powerful as a final mission, absolutely. And that's twice now Lazybear has had an opportunity to purloin and turned it down, clearly not fitting in with their game plan, whatever it may be. Right now, it looks a little like idling.
Yep, active idling in some sense. Well, I guess it's just straight up idling. We're not really doing anything in between these talks, and we're actually just not talking at all. There was silence in this conversation for far too long, but thankfully, due to the way the sniper works on Library, you can get away with some of these.
And right now, Lazybear playing kind of a standard library game if you're not sure you want to complete. You get away with the early time ad, you make some innocuous progress that gives you the option of maybe rushing late if you want to without committing to anything.
Yeah, and with the time ad, it makes sense that Lazybear would use the time given from such a thing here. We're just idling a little bit more, just working out where we want to go. Do we step in for a contact into briefcase potentially? Could be a play. It is going to be the play, but unfortunately Walt's going to steal that briefcase from our hand, meaning we can't get that fingerprint.
It's a good cancel and repath, but I don't think you're going to get credit for it very often on Library. Sometimes you go to all that trouble and it isn't even seen.
Because of that, we're going to add time again. Once more, this is what Lazybear does, but it's a red time ad just around the 3:05 mark on the clock, so the sniper should be aware that time was added.
Twice. The first one was green, second one was red.
I do like the play of adding time more than once. Might as well. Yeah, it's not like the sniper often sees the spy doing it unless they're staring them down at the time.
And we still don't really know if Lazybear wants to finish or not. I still think they're trying to hedge their bets.
I think we do want to finish, but both these 2 players have super strong sniper stats on Library. For Turnipboy, it's 93.3% win rate as sniper, and for Lazybear, it's just a little bit higher on 93.3. And so when you're playing against someone who's just very confident in their sniper statistics, sometimes you need to throw them through a loop, and time ads can be a great way to do it.
Yeah, that repath there outside the conversation didn't look great, but maybe just weird enough to lose heat rather than gain it. Hard to say.
2 minutes and 40 seconds left for Lazybear. We're going to repath strangely. Looks like we want to get a flirt, but we don't want to be too suspicious about it. Unfortunately, I don't think the briefcase repath will be credited as a good thing. Sometimes they just look a little bit weird if you're not too confident on your pathing.
Yeah, Lazybear's done 2 of those now, and I'm not sure they're going to get credit for either.
One thing that Turnipboy does do on his sniper style pretty consistently is highlight for every statue goer. And when you start to add time, we've added a 2 minutes and 15 seconds track, those highlights start to stack up.
They do indeed. There are 8 so far. We're coming up on half the party here. That is one of the valuable things about this. That's why you need to know what kind of things your sniper opponent highlights for. If they do highlight for statues, as you said, there are a lot of ways to manipulate that.
And at this moment, you have to feel for Turnipboy. We're at 1 minute and 45 seconds on the in-game clock, but internally, that's 4 minutes and a half surpassed already. If Turnipboy is feeling antsy, then any wrong path could force a wrong shot. I was worried there for Irish because she pathed so close to the ambassador. She gets a neutral, then back up to highlight. That just shows how unsure Turnipboy is right now.
And that is exactly the kind of mission progress you want to make. If you want to complete missions with all these time adds, you want to do these things that they can't shoot for, that a lot of other people are going to be doing through the sheer amount of time off the clock, which means a lot of people are going to have potential fingerprints, potential flirts, potential inspects, and in this case, the potential banana bread. So right now, given that he has almost 4 missions done, you really would hope that the party would be much more narrowed down for Turnipboy.
You would think so, but at this point, there's nothing really to narrow things down. No purloin, no swaps. Speaking of, maybe we find a swap here. This is Lazybear's 3rd visit to statues. There's also a fingerprint. Oh, it is. Swap fingerprint, the ending. We can't quite see the statue that much, but we do get a glimpse of its head, but it's not enough.
The top was visible.
To shoot. That's going to be Lazybear finding the spy win, and he does so very cleverly.
Yeah, all at once there at the end. When you make partial mission progress across different spectrums, you can find one mission site, especially if you've added time over and over and over. Eventually, things are going to line up just right. All the tumblers are going to click into place and produce one place where you can finish so many missions all at once. Turnipboy has to take a very tough shot, seeing just a fraction of a statue. Can't quite do it. Very strong game from Lazybear.
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate. The animation there, it was a head statue turned bird. Oftentimes, that's really difficult to get away with, but Turnipboy didn't get enough of a glimpse at the time, and so wasn't able to draw the conclusion that the statue had indeed been swapped.
Well, we see the difference between the 2 games. It's not so much that one was able to see a statue, for example, and one it wasn't, or anything like that. It was that one of these snipers narrowed the party down so that they were able to focus a lot of attention on their remaining suspects, and the other didn't. You can't possibly afford to keep looking at that statue or take that aggressive shot when this is one of 8 or 9 highlights.
Well, there were 10 highlights.
Oh, even more. So, making my point even better. Thank you.
I'm also...
I appreciate the assist.
The genius factor is here. Well, so that puts Lazyboy up 2 on the first run through the library, which I believe we are, returning to, putting Lazybear back behind the sniper rifle. Turnipboy controlling the general this time. Take it away.
Yeah, Turnipboy has been put down here. Not able to convert that sniper victory to keep things tied is not the way you want to start your series. We'll have to see if he can bounce back with a spy win to try and make things even in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And that's one of the benefits of finding that early spy win. It really makes things hard on you as the spy from that point onwards, because you always know you're that one step behind.
Yeah, and again, Turnipboy has not had to face much of a challenge in this tournament yet. I mentioned before they've won every one of their matches 9-4. Lazybear already is halfway to that mark after 2 games.
Yeah, right. That's exactly it. Turnipboy starts things off with a closest flirt, 31%. It's not super close, though, unfortunately. It means that we do have to hit a green if we want to start finding 3 flirt territory.
Yeah, that can come back to haunt you. As I mentioned, it didn't in the previous game. They hit the green late to salvage that. But again, so much of these larger venues, it's about timing and planning. And the quicker you can get something like Seduce done, the better you can plan. That doesn't help.
No, not at all. One thing that you don't want to be doing against someone who plays behavioralistly on the sniper side is flirting often. And with a red test, that forces Cowboy out of the conversation with no progress achieved, meaning we have to attempt again.
Another chance to pair and lost time to boot. It's a double whammy.
Double whammy indeed. It's a long series that we have here, Track. Best of 16s at this stage means that there is a lot of chances to come back. How do you feel like going down early kind of hurts your mentality?
I think it can relax you. It really depends on what type of player you are. Sometimes it can take the pressure off. The worst has already happened. Maybe now you can relax and play your game. So it's going to be very player specific.
At this point, Turnipboy is looking to try and start getting that flirt progress, but already we're 2 minutes into the game with only partial mission progress on Seduce and Fingerprint. Green Test does put us up to 79%, and that is a huge relief.
Yeah, right now Turnipboy is playing the same sort of game that Lazybear did, but without the time ads.
Maybe something that Turnipboy will consider in the next couple seconds here. Fingerprint available on the yellow bookshelf. Looks like Turnipboy is V-lining it towards that area. And we're going to try and achieve that fingerprint, and maybe then we go for a contact. We'll have to see. This is the second time we've been to yellow bookshelf, and rightfully so. Lazybear chucks a low light, but then brings it back up to neutral, considering the fact that this is a lot of time wasted.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. If they want to do a time ad, you want to do it sooner rather than later. You don't want to do it late in the game where the sniper's more likely to be looking for it.
Cross the circle from our seduction target. Green Test will achieve us the 100% we so desperately wanted at this stage. 2 missions completed and another minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. Are we going to Purloin here? No, we don't. Do we bug as the ambassador goes past? We don't do that either. So at this point, Turnipboy is really desperately looking for mission progress.
Yeah, even with that green test, still behind the 8-ball time-wise, they needed that as a bare minimum to keep a mission win hope alive.
We're approaching the moment where the click clock starts ticking. And I believe Turnipboy is eyeing up the idea of a contact into statues for an inspect swap finished. With a tall character like General, it's viable.
Here come the beeps and the decision any moment now.
That's double agent standing next to us. It means the inspects might be hard to achieve here. First one's a white test. Second one is going to be a red test. We can't do this. We don't have time now. Turnipboy, you have to make a decision. You have to bail this idea. The swap comes through. A third cycle as well. Lazybear's watching for the swap. It's a green test. We cancel animation. We get our inspects. We're now being forced into a hanging clock, and Lazybear is tracking us with his laser, looking for potential time ads, looking towards the guest list as well, wanting to try and find the way that this game will finish. And as this all happens, AI will be selected to go over to the statue and pick it up. Indeed, it happens now. Going to be picking up the statue, and there is the ticking time bomb of a swap beeping, and Lazybear was confident that that had to be General.
If anything, I kind of wonder why they didn't shoot for the third cycle. Maybe not positive they've seen it. No reason to take the shot technically if you're still confident that the actual mission hasn't completed. The one thing that's really amazing here has been Lazybear holding these shots even when they must be close to 99% sure, just waiting until they absolutely have to take it to try.
Yeah, absolutely. At that point, you know that Lazybear is going to shoot General if the game ends, if the overtime beeps happen, because he's so confident that he doesn't even look back to see the swap. He knows that's the only possibility.
Yeah, it's almost too patient. It makes me very nervous. I'm sitting here thinking, that's your third cycle. You can shoot now. But no, they wait. They wait. The patience is just amazing.
I have a fun thought for you that I was thinking while watching the overtime. Not overtime. I guess what do we call that? Hanging at zero? Yeah, hanging clock. What if you purloined when Toby was offering? So you take the drink, that's your 5th mission completion. You go into overtime immediately, and then Lazybear kind of gets tripped up because you think, well, someone else must have hit that green, and then this is the white cut, resolving itself.
It's not a bad idea, and it all comes down to Lazybear's confidence in fades. However, at this point, Lazybear is staring down Toby's guest list. So, hindsight 2020, you have to wonder whether or not it would have worked. I think Lazybear would have seen the fade and then would have made an educated decision based off that. But that reject also just adds extra ammunition to the fact that the green swap or even just a green purloin has to be General, because the two things that can put you in overtime like this or a hanging clock are purloin, swap, as far as mission completions are concerned. And General interacted with both those things at the end, so it just gives extra credibility to this shot without needing confirmation.
I think that maneuver can work, but it's a high-risk, high-reward maneuver when you're already a huge suspect and you need to do something dramatic to pull the game out. I don't think Turnipboy actually had a sense that they were the top suspect there. I think maybe they thought they were more just like a high suspect in general and didn't have to take any big chances, tried to play it kind of straight. But I think you have to assume a little worse than that after those cycles at Statue.
And it all comes down to the fact that you red inspect and then green swap. If you had green inspect and then white swap, then Turnipboy potentially just gets the spy win.
Yep.
Right.
All right, on to the next one. Turnipboy is down 0-3, looking to make a little bit of a comeback behind the sniper rifle.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need this sniper game now of your Turnipboy going down 4-0. Whilst it is a best of 16, first to 9, it is not the start you want, especially against Lazybear, who is a frightening opponent. As Queen here on the library to finish things up at this venue in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And as Lazybear, at this point, you have the chance to go up 4-0. Maybe you start going a little bit crazy on the spy side, really trying to test Turnipboy.
Would you say that would make him a crazy bear?
I was going to say, play crazy at Spy. You mean like do 3 time ads, one of them red, 2 of them in a row on Library. I think Lazybear is already playing as if they have that lead.
I don't know. I don't think time adding is crazy. I think it's underrated. I think you guys are all missing out on the true strategy of Library. All you got to do is add 5 time ads at the beginning of the game as Smallman and then do nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have a, not exactly an unbiased opinion here. You have a vested interest in selling this strategy, I think, to the rest of us.
Yes, absolutely. Lazybear, though, will be starting things off on script with a 34% flirt. Took us 3 minutes to find that, but I don't think that'll be a problem for Lazybear. We just go and add time.
Yeah, although, when you get away with that many, when you do 3 in one game and your game plan is centrally tied to those time ads, more than ever, you have to imagine that your opponent's going to look at those replays given the stakes and adjust to it. So maybe you don't do any time ads this game and force them to look for it the whole time.
Yeah, it will require attention from Turnipboy if he believes that's Lazybear's plan, and there's been a number of competitive games where Lazybear have done this, but look at this, he's setting up for one now, wants to time add straight into conversation, decides against it due to the way the laser was likely to come. A contact going to come through here, there's quite a few lowlights to be taken. Looks like we might just only get 2 though, due to the way we were standing. 3 on Teal. Now we have the chance to bug in conversation, but Turnipboy is all on top of it, sees the lean, and takes the shot.
Just guessing wrong on the laser movement is really all that comes down to. It was a little after the banana bread, I think a little too long after. I'm actually a big fan of waiting a couple extra seconds, not bugging right after the banana bread, because that's when the sniper is going to be looking for those hardtails, assuming Contact the Double Agent is covering for something. So you let them let their guard down after 3 or 4 seconds and then do it. But if you wait 3 or 4 more seconds, they might have situated themselves again, especially given how vulnerable that ambassador was. In this case, just a second or 2 too late.
And the hard thing about playing Library, especially across the pond, you know, with Lazybear in Norway and Turnipboy East Coast US, that's just enough latency that predicting where the laser will be at any given time and what the sniper is truly seeing isn't super viable. So you have to do it based on intuition, and it's easy to mess that up.
Intuition, certainly, and if you have to try to make some sort of formula out of it, what you really want to do is you want to bug when the laser is on you for a full second, because that's the moment they're most likely to turn away.
Well, I will let you take that strategy. I'm going to bug when the sniper is looking far, 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 far away.
When you think they're far away, that's the latency issue.
Anyway,
yeah.
Coming out of Library, Lazybear on top, 3-1. I already forgot what's next in the draft. Oh, yes, what we could all do with right now. A nice drink at the pub. This is literally my favorite map, so I'm just excited now.
Yeah, and this is the home map now of Turnipboy. Used to be Courtyard, but since Pub has overtaken him and has really strong statistics on it. 72.7% sniper win rate is fair enough. But when you look at the spy win rate, it's all the way up in the 60s, which really makes things troublesome for Lazybear, you would think. But Lazybear also pretty strong on this map, especially on spy, so another challenging one.
Yeah, 60% spy win rate is high on any map, even balcony. It's insane on pub, which I would say in the hands of a competent sniper is usually going to result in a sniper victory.
All right, well, let's see.
Let's
Let's
get
see
on
how
into it then.
goes.
Absolutely. All right. It's Turnipboy as Spy playing Queen. And before we get into this, I have to say he plays Queen every time he plays pub. Just shoot Queen. 3, 2, 1, playing it. It is ridiculous how many times Turnipboy will play Queen on this map. And I don't think he realizes that some of the times when I played him in SCL, he actually played Queen twice in a row on pub for our doubled map. And since then, I've seen it be a trend. I feel like opposition research, you just highlight Queen.
I think the last time we cast him, we noticed it was Queen a couple times in a row, and we had a little conversation about whether or not it was picked or not, and we decided probably not. At this point, though, I think I've changed my mind.
It's random with 5 M's is what it is, says Turnipboy, and that has me believing the opposite.
we like to say random +1, where you press random and hit it one more time if you don't like who you get. How about random +12 until you get Queen?
That's it. Basically, a lot of people claim they random, but then they press random twice, 3 times until they find someone they like to play. And it's not truly random, it's picking by surrogate at that point. Turnipboy gets himself a 49% flirt. We're going to chase our seduction target to the other side of the map. Cowboy here, get up close and look for another one. We're in bugging range as well, and actually this tree kind of blocks it, but Lazybear's rotating his sniper constantly, wanting to be on top of this, making sure it can't happen.
Yeah, bug can be very treacherous on pub if you're the sniper. You need to devote an inordinate amount of time, and because you don't have to watch Purloin the same way, and because there's only 2 statues and it's so hard to get away with a swap, you can and should focus more on the Ambassador than you would on other venues.
We're in a golden point right now where the Ambassador hasn't left. We're not too close to him, but unfortunately Alice breaks that down for us. We'll knock him out of the conversation here. Also, our delegate's about to run out, and there it is, goes out as well, meaning we're not going to be able to purloin through that. Seduction target expiry will come through in just a second, and so I'm sure we'll look for our last flirt and then consider our mission choices.
And there is not much room there with the double agent. Maybe a spot between buns and wheels. We'll see. Now would be about the time to do it if you want to complete, I think.
Seems like we are heading over to statues instead. Going to look
not a great path.
Inspect the path's not perfect. It's fair to say, and this is a map where pathing is one of the strongest ways for snipers to get information.
Yeah, those walkways are even more narrow than they look, especially that doorway, which is treacherous against, say, an etiquette sniper or a pathing expert.
Inspect done. We head back to the bar, going to request a drink from Toby here, wait our turn in line. Says to me we're looking to contact and purloin to finish this game.
I think that's exactly right. You hope that the purloin is missed in the confusion of the banana bread, and look at all these highlights. It might actually work if you pick your target carefully.
We're actually very nervous of a purloin possibility here. Lazybear is zooming in every time someone takes a drink. Double agent, oh no, is heading into the bar. This is going to be disaster. Sip cancel. Oh no, maybe we meant to start talking. Actually, we're gulping our drink, throwing Cowboy out, and now we may bug to finish this game. Past the Ambassador, there's the bug going out. Mission win pending. Hand snaps back up. 3 seconds left, and the overtime shot's lined up on Turnipboy, but no overtime has come yet. Here we go. It's going to be a drink take in just a second from Cowboy after Wheels takes this drink here. And maybe that's enough for Turnipboy to be shot. We'll really have to find out.
It's so close.
Hide. Just hide. Turnipboy,
run.
don't go out into the open. Oh, the guest list has been taken, and instantly the shot comes through. That will be another victory going to Lazybear, putting us up to 4.
Yeah, here's the question. Did he actually kind of get away with that bug? And was Lazybear just that confident that he couldn't be done? Because we've seen Lazybear be incredibly patient already, even seeing things, basically seeing hardtails, but saying, I don't actually need to shoot, and maybe there's a 1% chance I'm wrong. But just very little hesitation, maybe a full second or two, but they know they have 10 there at that point, so waits, takes the shot, hits Queen. And Queen doing the very standard thing on pub where you get a drink early in the game, look for a good opportunity to purloin just in case, and when it doesn't come through, you go back to the bar for the real purloin. You see that so often among spies on pub. Lazybear, though, just all over it.
If you go back and look at the bug was more or less invisible. It was kind of obscured by the pillar at the entryway. So either Lazybear heavily suspected it, or we were more suspicious of Turnipboy.
So I know Lazybear will take more information from the path rather than the animation, but that bug is actually very visible when you consider the way Queen's hand snaps back up before the statue is picked up. It's such a jarring motion.
Oh yeah. I was just looking
maybe it's just
at the
I watch
frames
animation and etiquette more than anything.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that people who are good at catching bugs aren't looking for the arm reach. They're looking for literally everything else.
I'm garbage
the
at
aftermath.
catching bugs, so
they're looking.
Yeah. I'll just shut up then.
They're not looking. They're not looking for the stone. They're looking for the ripple of the pond.
Yes. I mean, the stone sometimes hits you in the face.
Right, as happened in the final library game. But anyway, that's the end of this one. Lazybear extends their lead 4-1, 3 over Turnipboy. But Turnipboy, a chance for revenge, sniping on the pub.
Yeah, at least at this point, it's not revenge. It's series protection and staying close enough that you can make a comeback. It is Lazybear spying as Red Dress here with the fantastic afro in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I mentioned earlier, Turnipboy has won every match 9-4 in this tournament. Lazybear at 4 already. What a statement. And maybe this is confirmation bias, Dowsy, but I feel like we've seen in the Summer Cup and in SCL matches, so many people miss bugs behind that right doorway pillar on pub. I feel like snipers are actually not great at protecting that angle.
Yeah, it's just a lack of forethought, really, that comes with guarding the ambassador, that you have to make the rotation to catch the bug.
Yeah, camera rotation, I say it every week. I'm sure I sound like a broken record. It's a boring, underrated part of being a good sniper, is anticipating the vulnerabilities before they happen. There's so much cover there that if you don't move before the bug happens, you're only going to see the aftermath.
This is a strong spy map here for Lazybear, with 65% spy win rate and a decent mission complete rate as well to go with it. A high variance in the missions we complete, making it really difficult to track Lazybear's tendencies on this map.
Yeah, a lot of things there. Gets clipped on the bar though, by the way, heading in there for the drink take.
One thing that I do think that Turnipboy is really good at catching is the purloin. Above anything else on this map, it's probably his strongest sniper niche. And so I always find it interesting to see if his opponents will attempt it.
Yeah, if Lazybear has done any research at all, that is one of the first things they'll probably notice about Turnipboy on this map.
33% flirt done, and we're not doing anything else just yet. Unfortunately, our seduction target did sunshine as we enter the conversation, but here's a conversation that has a lot of value to us. Double agent and our seduction target score.
And look at this, just one hard low light, at least, two rather, out of people who weren't already low lit. And one of the twins enters just as we do it too. Pretty darn good for pub.
Yeah, this is a huge contact here with about 8 people, maybe 6 to 8 people who could have done it for real as well. Makes things very difficult for the sniper. We hit our second flirt as well, 84% going strong. We can get our last flirt from literally any distance that we are allowed to flirt from.
And I think Irish might have been a low light on that banana bread too, but was hidden behind some of the architecture of the bar's doorway and instead picks up a statue highlight. That could haunt them later.
Yeah, no, that's always rough. If you think that the contact split came through, you're in for a treat as sniper.
Yeah, one thing to miss the low light, another thing to turn the low light into a highlight and be suspicious of a split from the same character.
Yes, a lot of things added up against a very innocent AI here. 2 missions completed, 41 seconds remaining. Lazybear heads on over to this front statue, the head, to swap it. No, that would be pretty interesting. An inspect does come through though. We'll have to see if a swap is the plan. Oh, it is. There you go. Insta swaps it, and this is very interesting.
Oh, the rotation.
Yeah, the rotation. He spotted it. The shot will come through just in time. I say this is interesting because this is the strategy that started to become adapted against Turnipboy on this map. The swaps. He kind of isn't always protecting them, and actually oftentimes shoots the person who swaps the statue or assumes green against certain people, but there'd be no one there to assume green against earlier, so you're not going to have that. So Lazybear is kind of just hoping that the awkward timing of the statue visit's enough for the swap to be unnoticed.
Well, we see it almost works, right? The shot comes off at 2 or 3 seconds instead of 6 or 7, even though it was a white, and it's happening from a highlight right there at a very suspicious time in the game. It's just so counterintuitive. Why would you look for it? This might be the hardest single map to swap on, and out of the 2 statues, that's the harder one to get away with. So this might be the least white swappable statue of any venue and any mode, and yet it almost works there just because of that very fact.
Yeah, I actually think that I just noticed Salmon was there. So Lazybear was 100% trying to frame Salmon to be the frame target here. I don't know if Salmon had a real contact. I'm pretty sure he didn't, actually. In fact, yeah, he didn't. Was one of the lowlights possible, potentially. Or at least wasn't in a conversation. So Salmon couldn't be done. And that shot makes a lot of sense that you would then shoot.
Well, when you highlight for statues, it's very effective, but the inability to be sure of who did a real banana bread or not, or have to commit that memory, especially when the banana bread is good, as this one was. I think you mentioned 8 or 9 could have done a real banana bread. That is incredible. That really taxes the sniper and makes it a lot harder to know who could have done it and who could have not.
I mean, at that point, you're counting the people who don't have real contacts instead of the people who do.
Good point.
Either way, that is a strong sniper game for Turnipboy, and we said earlier he needs to keep up with them, has to do the boring housework, I guess you could say, of sniper if he wants to stay in this series. Now with a chance to spy, try and bring things back up to even in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Chance for an early bug there, not taken by Turnipboy, and the chaos could have been a strong move. We're actually going to get a couple of highlights thrown out for people who may have bugged, which, like we mentioned, Lazybear almost highlights for the implication more than anything.
Amba bouncing around in that doorway. That's the sniper's worst nightmare. Sometimes you can be zoomed in 2 times, staring right at the ambassador, and still not be sure if a bug took.
We're staring down Turnipboy at this bar, hoping that he doesn't bug our ambassador. Here comes Duke to path right past, but we get a good glimpse of his hand. I think we'd be pretty happy that he didn't bug. And actually takes a really strong path around the bar as well. Turnipboy gets a drink and, of course, selects the delegate option. We have until the 1 minute 45 second mark to make that delegate happen. We'll have to see if Turnipboy opts for an early one. We've already a green flirt done. This gives us a lot of chances. We're in a 2-person conversation. It's so tempting. We go for it. The delegate onto Alice. It means our talk animation instantly gets cut because you can't talk to yourself on SpyParty. Now we have 15 seconds for Alice to take that drink, but there is so many people ahead of us. This will not go through.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's a nice little move. Very interesting there. But the downside is it had to be you if they trace it back to that conversation.
Thankfully, I don't think we'll even get the chance because of the fact that after Small Man is Pearls, and then after Pearls is Alice, and the delegate runs out as we speak. So, unfortunately, Turnipboy's move does not happen to result in a mission completion. We do hit the second green test, though, for our flirt, so we're in a very good spot.
Yeah, that helps. Definitely running low on time, and would be red alert, all hands on deck, if not for those flirts.
Ooh, now we're framing someone because we take the guest list immediately here. Turnipboy's going to start some lowlights, potentially knowing who has been to the bar and who hasn't. This is now going to be guest list taken and a highlight for the act. We have whittled the count down to 5 potential spies.
And here's the question. Will any of them do anything?
Both the suspected double agent and the double agent is out of circle. We've just gulped our drink and Turnipboy zooms in to confirm that the drink is indeed gone, potentially counting sips at this point for information. One of the highlights is at statues. Could be a bit risky, and the double agent has just joined our circle. SDA in the circle with Small Man. This would make it real for 3 of the potential purloiners. But look at that, over to statues, and with the ambassador next to it, it was just too much. And Lazybear breaks, giving Turnipboy his first spy victory.
I like it. It's high risk, high reward. But here's the thing. You got it down to 5 people. That's still a lot. And you had a whole minute. You did it at the right point in the game so that they didn't have to shoot right away. They could wait, give the AI some time to help sell your narrative a little bit. You maybe only need one of them to go to statues. That's exactly what happened. You mentioned the double agent joined the conversation. Turnipboy had a big choice there then, right? There are some other highlights in this conversation with me. Maybe they've sussed out a few of them. Maybe they haven't. Do I do that to knock out the statue visitor or not? They hold the banana bread, and it wins them the game.
Absolutely. And unfortunately for Lazybear, when you go back and look at the person who Turnipboy was framing, it is his seduction target in Duke, who had just been to the bar recently to get a drink. So it wasn't possible that the twin was one of the people who did send Salmon to the bar, but it is hard to know that in the moment.
Yeah, very hard to know in the moment, but still a strange lapse. I have to admit, I did not think it was going to work. Lazybear has been so on the ball and so patient too that I figured a held shot was more likely than anything. But what it really comes down to is timing that purloin well so that the AI still had chances to do things, and because a number of people were at bar in the general time vicinity, weren't able to narrow it down to the usual 2 or 3. When you get it to 4 or 5 instead, that's the difference.
And I believe that twin also was highlighted for a bug path at some point as well, making things even more hard for Lazybear to find the correct shot. So with that, Turnipboy heads it back up to 3 as the spy win carries over. Now he can convert a sniper victory, and we tie things up for 4. Lazybear spying as a small man on the pub. We'll have to see if he's able to turn this into a lead and keep it strong in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Time ads. 1. Just 1. White test. Get out of there.
And let's see if Turnipboy notices and narrows this party down. Doesn't look like it. Smallman, quick watch check animation. So already a suspicious character. Good for shenanigans. Even better because they can get away with quick time ads relative to other characters.
Yeah, in the first 2 seconds of the game, you can pretty much add 45 and get out before the snipers even bothered to look up the clock.
And they might not have even seen you there. As you look there too, the bar provides a lot of cover for someone of that stature.
Certainly does. Lazybear, Ambassador so close. We're very tiny. Makes it difficult to see our hands. We do path right past the Ambassador. We don't bug, and Turnipboy will be pretty confident that Smallman did not bug there. We are looking for our second flirt here. We have 51%, but unfortunately at this range, we can't make it a 2 flirt. Even with a green test, it knocks us up to 94. The double agent is here as well, so maybe we find solace in the fact that we can get a mission completion that way.
And it's a pretty good time to do it, and there's still 3 minutes left on the clock, so I think you can live with a 3 flirt.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reels, and a couple of people out of conversation. I count 5, and indeed we do have 5 lowlights at the end of that as well. But with 6 or 7 people that could have done a real contact, it's another great contact from Lazybear.
Yeah, and you're paying a lot of attention to it, and it really pays off. It's less about the lowlights than what you keep mentioning. Who could have done real, if that's the kind of thing the sniper's going to pay attention to.
We're in a very strong position now here as the spy, in a position that we can bug by exiting this conversation wrong arm, or...
Yeah, a lot of options here, but you are a suspicious character. On the other hand, you have to sell out to guard that angle properly.
Oh no, it's Ambassador. He's a busy guy, has meetings and people to talk to in countries all across the world. We'll escape the conversation in the grasp of a small man. Over to the statue.
That's what the Ambassador says, but they keep going to cocktail parties instead.
Now, we did attempt the swap earlier, and it was at the end of the game, and Turnipboy was able to catch it. This time, we'll have to see if Lazybear attempts it. No, it doesn't look like it. We pick up the highlight, try to hide as if we never were at statue, but unfortunately, it was too late.
Yeah, got the highlight, and if you try to hide and it works, you're less suspicious. If it doesn't work, you're all the more suspicious instead, which is what's happened here. Lazybear, though, still in a decent position. Look at this, over a minute left thanks to that early time ad, with just 1 mission left to do.
Yeah, but our party has not been very accommodating. Yes, we have 7 people who could have done a real contact, but none of them have head over to statues and picked up a highlight, meaning that not only are we small men, but we are also the only highlight at the party. Now Seek will ambiguous pass through our ambassador. She has an awful afterbug, so maybe Turnipboy is happy that a bug didn't happen. We do pick up a fingerprint off the drink. Maybe we pick up the briefcase and find the final fingerprint as well. Lazybear, how blatant does he want to try and be? Briefcase is so tempting. Here it is. Pickup comes through. This will be our mission complete, and the countdown started. Turnipboy has to be on top of fingerprints to make this shot. The stop comes out because the ambassador's on the run. 5 seconds to make it, Turnipboy. 3 seconds, no! Nope. Turnipboy will not make the shot, and Lazybear will maintain his lead.
There was an excruciating 5-second window there where Lazybear wasn't moving and neither was Turnipboy. It's like they were waiting, thinking at that moment they could have shot or not, and the moment they moved that camera to the right, we knew it was over. Big win.
Huge win for Lazybear, especially considering this is Turnipboy's double. Not only have you gone up on your own, but you've gone up, maintained your lead, on Turnipboy's as well. And now you get to play your map choice, making things even better.
Yep, let's go on to the next map. Though it behooves me that I was so excited that pub was the map, I forgot to give a little whirlwind tour of it. So unfortunately, we'll have to leave the pub behind and head on to the next map, which is, I think, potentially universally agreed to be one of the best looking maps in the game. I think a bang up job was done here on the terrace. 2 little conversation circles for your spying pleasure. 2 sets of 2 statues to be hanging out behind the bar in this nice little Mediterranean thing. Yeah, interesting note about this map is the double agent is known. Anything else you want to say, or should we just get into this?
Yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, this is Lazybear's most picked map this season, Terrace. Not really a common map choice in the competitive pool. Has picked it over 50% of his games, but due to the quick nature of them, hasn't always played it. Has a really strong sniper win rate at 88%, and his spy win rate's above 50 at 56%. And unfortunately for Turnipboy, it just hasn't had the experience on this map in competitive play, so could be a worrying sign if you're trying to get back into the series.
Yeah, it can be a little coin flippy. It's a very strange map to play, and it is one I would say you want to play at this point with this amount of time on the clock in particular. This is something you'd rather play from ahead, certainly. You're much more likely to get a split than some other maps.
Certainly so, due to the quick nature of the game, makes it easier on the sniper to collect a correct shot. Turnipboy is playing Kane here to start things off. Unfortunately, though, drink in the Kane hand, so can't find that strong bug early in the chaos. We'll have to see what he does decide to do instead in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I assume this is Hummus's favorite map since the last one.
Yes, this is my current favorite map since the last one.
Oh, no. Shoot him! Etiquette break! No. Okay, so if you head to statues, an AI will always insta-sip. Turnipboy elected to seduce first, then sip. Pro tip, you can actually seduce whilst you're sipping. You kind of make gurgling noises towards your seduction target, and they find it very attractive.
Yeah, we call that the ventriloquist's flirt.
It's the hand on the leg flirt, I'm sure.
Maybe a little jab with the cane. I don't know what happens. Don't ask questions. It just works.
So that's okay though. As Lazybear doesn't shoot for etiquette things, you can get away with such. But you're dead to Dowsey.
To Dowsey. You'll make some casters very, very upset.
That's fine.
That's right. Use it against Thomas. He doesn't care. Too busy looking at the map.
We're in a very strong position here, gentlemen. Real contact going to happen. 65% on the flirt. It's all very quick. You don't expect flirt to be done this quickly. If we hit a green test on the flirt from the other side of the conversation, it won't quite be enough. But maybe we can head to bar, pick up our drink delegate option, and then finish the game off with a flirt delegate.
Yeah, a lot of options because of that quick flirt. The aggressive flirting, as you mentioned, an etiquette problem, but a good pacing solution.
This is so clever from Turnipboy. We're giving ourselves extra outs here This is the second time we've been to the statue, but of course this time there's more reason to be it. There's another fingerprint available on the statue the ambassador is currently standing at. We can step into this conversation for a flirt, also in a position where if the sniper doesn't guard our arm closely enough, then Bug is very strong as well. But if we quickly jump over to Lazybear's angle, he does seem nervous of the Bug possibility and wants to guard for it.
Yeah, and the red flirt does have at least the advantage of making the seduction target path by the ambassador in a mildly suspicious way. That's something, but still not what they wanted to do.
20 seconds left, and we need to find our mission completion. Is going to be a step over towards the window pad, potentially to add time, really to try and throw the sniper through a loop. Green time add as well. That's nice stuff. 6 seconds. The clock will start to slow. And look at that, low lights are coming out. We've noticed the green time ad just towards the last seconds here. Highlights, very strong. Kane and Plane. Game becomes a deadlock for the next 37 seconds.
And a very quick window leave. If you care about that kind of thing at all, Turnipboy would be your top suspect. And yeah, clearly goes to statues, immediately takes the bullet.
Yeah, I mean, considering how careful Lazybear has been with his shots so far, seems surprising that he doesn't wait for the overtime beeps to just confirm that, yeah, I do have to make a shot here. But at that point, I feel like you're pretty much certain that Kane was the one who did the dirty deed of adding time.
Yeah, I would not have expected Lazybear to shoot, no matter how sure they were of Turnipboy there, until an actual mission complete was in the offing.
Either way, it is a strong shot, and it shows why Lazybear is picking Terrace, because he can make plays like this as sniper and get away with it. At 6-3, you are getting closer and closer to that all exciting 9-point that you need to win the series. Lazybear now spying as general. And if you find a spy win on Terrace, and you are really starting to nail the coffin in. Counting it down as general in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And this is the hardest match Turnipboy has had since week 9 against you, actually, where you emerged victorious. Since then, it has been smooth sailing, 7-4, 9-4, 9-4, 9-4, and a couple weeks off in between. This is the toughest Turnipboy's probably played in, I don't know, 6-7 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, if you discount Summer Cup results where both these guys made it to the round of 16 and actually both got knocked out by bronze opponents, Namphalis for Lazybear and JY for Turnipboy, then that was his most recent loss in a 1-6 to JY, but before that it was week 9 against me. For Lazybear, it was actually week 10 in SCL where he lost a very narrow series against Magic Dua. Other than that, Yeesh Tai and Namphalis lost in Summer Cup. Either way, it's not the position you want to be.
And you can see here the highlights reflecting real BB suspects, which would be probably the way to go on this venue regardless, but especially with both swap and inspect turned off.
Yeah, and this is so standard on Terrace. You can't swap and inspect. It's the most accepted format for this map, pretty much always seen in play. I'm no Tobo, but it hurts. 99% on the flirt, and that's going to be kind of not a place you want to be if you're Lazybear.
No, not great at all. And there's so little time on Terrace that missing that flirt, even though this seems like the kind of place where you would have a lot of time to get that done and just have to pick your spots, missing a flirt actually can be deadly.
Was a difficult fingerprint that we were attempting. Unfortunately, we don't hit the green test. Kind of hurts a little bit, but we do pick up the delegate, so we do have options. Lazybear is going to just actively idle, trying to throw the sniper off our scent a little bit. Now we step in on top of Alice, unfortunately, into a very full conversation to find our last flirt and send someone to the bar as a delegate option, unless we want to try the ambassador route. It'd be dangerous, though, at this point. 19 seconds left, and we're risking overtime. There it is. It is the delegate option, and Lazybear is kind of blocking Alice this entire time. Look at Turnipboy. He rotates up, so now he gets a better view at the bar, and now he's going to be camping for that purloin.
Yeah, and even though he's trying to provide a little bit of visual cover for the actual purloiner and be at the bar when it goes off with Alice, I don't think it's going to work. I think Turnipboy is going to see through this.
Yeah, I mean, we already praised Turnipboy's ability to catch the delegate option on pub. You would have to think on Terrace, it's just the same. And with that sniper shot, we keep things in a close-ish position, 6-4 in Lazybear's advantage, and the terrace map doesn't find any extra for Lazybear.
Speaking of a closest position, that was actually probably what cost Lazybear that game. You mentioned entering that conversation basically on top of Alice. That's the problem. That makes her the closest character, which means she's the one he's going to delegate to. And here's the thing. If you take Alice out of the equation, there were highlights, otherwise known as people who could have done a real banana bread, on either side, ignoring Alice. Delegating to either one of those would have forced a much more difficult shot for Turnipboy.
At this point, Turnipboy remains in play. Now heading on to his map choice of Modern, potentially could find the spy when necessary to tie this series up, as Alice will have to see if he can do it in 3.
I'm just going to give a little tour of Modern.
Whoa.
So we can all see it. We have to do a tour.
To do a tour.
So what was once... I mean, look
at the pool.
Like, everything you need for Modern living. Anyway...
And what you don't know about Modern, because as a sniper you get to see this lovely background which looks like mountains and trees, is actually this is a beachside resort. Look at the ocean.
It is a beachside resort. That means the sniper, I think, lore wise, is the Poseidon or something like that, right? Anyways. Or
helicopter.
So Modern is the
he identifies as an attack helicopter.
I think let's say it's a spy. Let's say drone.
That's true. A drone.
Clearly a drone.
All right, let's see. So what do we have on Modern? Modern is the largest map in the game. Toby Behind the Bar. Wow, we've had basically every Toby Behind the Bar map in a row right now. Back there chilling, serving drinks. Anyway, we have 3 sets of statues in pairs of 2, 3 required for completion. We have 3 bookcases, the red, the blue, and the green, kind of around a corner for each other. Cheese microfilm, rather popular on this map. Large spaces for conversations and walking, and a hell of a long time to get from point A to point B. 21 guests, any 5 of 8.
And let's kick it off with Turnipboy as the spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And that's the huge point that you point out, the point of Lieutenant Hummus, and the point being that between each mission site is a decent amount of walking distance, meaning that you have to plan out where you want to go, where you want to be on this map, if you want to have a chance of hitting all those points in a successful timing.
And for that very reason, the fact that Turnipboy is playing one of the fastest characters in the game could be inherently suspicious to a learned sniper.
Cheese microfilms are popular on Modern, but I actually would advise against them. Oftentimes, they are so conspicuously obvious that snipers stare down where books come from to make sure that they don't be successful. I would prefer an action test microfilm any day. But of course, action test microfilms are hard. You have to hit green tests most of the time.
Well, you don't have to when that conversation right there in front of the green shelf is full, though. You get so much cover out of that. You're suspicious for even being there at that time, but you're not likely to see that arm go down seen by the sniper.
Turnipboy, unfortunately, can't flirt with seduction quickly enough, so we have to chase him to a new conversation here. Remember, Lazybear loves his behaviorism. On Modern, it's a bit of a harder map to find that. Maybe you revert back to some form of camping missions and counting missions, just due to the fact that yes, you can see the whole party, but there is just so much going on all at once.
Yeah, if you're going to be watching for behavioral things, if you're going to be looking for specific page turn animations, for example, at shelves, you're going to be doing it at the expense of literally 20 other things.
Turnipboy returns the book back to the green bookshelf, and look at that, the low light comes through. This is how you please a behaviorist sniper. Look at that, Ambassador is in a great position as well. The bug path comes through. We stare it down, though, and immediately a neutral light gets chucked onto Alice.
So what is that low light actually worth when you're going to double zoom in anyway? It could just be like a probationary low light. I'm going to low light this person, and if they don't do anything particularly suspicious in the next 20 seconds, I'll leave it that way. Instead, they pass by the Ambassador immediately, and the low light is lost.
Turnipboy does get the mission completion in a bug, and it isn't a highlight, meaning that Lazybear's pretty confident that no animation happened, but kind of throws the neutral out due to the threat of the possibility. And we talk about this a lot, Morning Track. Alice is actually one of the best characters when it comes to bug animations. Both her lean and her walking animation is relatively clean.
Absolutely. Just a nice smooth path, a nice sway to it. Nothing too overt, nothing like Teal, for example, your bugaboo, I know. Emphasis
That's
on the
such
bug.
a good name. Bugaboo, I love it.
She is the bugaboo. Yeah.
She is the bugaboo, yeah. Not a teal fan here. Turnipboy, however, plays a decent amount of her, but not today, not today. We do head over to our statues now, looking for our first inspect, and Lazybear very swift on throwing a highlight that way. That highlight and the swiftness of it, almost the anticipation that's where it's going to be, says to me that Lazybear is staring Alice down.
And the Purloin has gone off, and Lazybear's just noticed, and now you're seeing the lowlights come out. Let's see how narrowed down this party gets. Not very.
Lowlights. 2 so far, 3, 4, 5.
Ooh, wow. Didn't think those were going. Okay, that's much better.
Some lowlights chucked up to highlights, but a lot of lowlights thrown out actually here. And now we sit with 6 highlights on the board, 5 in fact. I will learn to count, but more importantly, 25 seconds on the clock. It's so difficult to mission complete. Contact comes through. It is going to be a split away from the circle. Ooh, safety off on Pearl for just half a second. We need to find our flirt, and then we need to find our inspects. The flirt comes through. We jump away from the shelf immediately.
right to statue.
Inspect.
What a move.
Comes through. Oh, that was not what we wanted. We wanted to inspect action priorities, please, and a shot into Turnipboy's chest.
Oh, goodness. And I really, honestly do not know. I'm mad at that swap, not just for the decision or the misclick or whatever it was. I'm mad that we're never going to find out if the shot would have come off anyway. Probably a big suspect, but as we saw from that safety off on Pearl, maybe not the biggest suspect. Would they have shot for an inspect? I genuinely don't know. I think that would have been a very interesting, very difficult decision.
I think considering the inspect would have had to have gone off at what time? About 5 seconds. With 5 seconds overtime,
yeah,
you probably puzzle it out as Lazybear. He's very good in those overtime moments. However, of course, like you mentioned, we will never find out. And unfortunately for Turnipboy, just hitting that swap instead of inspect does ensure that the spy game is lost on his map pick here. And that's not what you want to be hearing when you are down by 2, trailing Lazybear, who hits his 7th point in the series, now sniping to try and convert it, convert it even into a larger victory. Words.
It's okay.
It
also playing as Alice, so the double ultra secret mind games are here, or just RNG is that way, or it's a fast character.
Yep.
Lazybear 100% picks his characters. He will say otherwise, but I'm going to say that about him. There's a decent spread of high-picked characters and then other characters not so much.
Well, it's safe to say, because this is the finals, and nobody can react to it now after this. This is going to happen or not, and we'll see if they adjust after you've outed them.
That's true. Lazybear, Alice, in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I hate to question the architect of Modern. I mentioned earlier that infinity pool. I don't know what a wood floor is doing near it, especially with so many people standing there in heels near it. I wouldn't go on that side.
Do you want to hear a frightening statistic warning track?
I do.
On Modern, as Spy, Lazybear has won 87.5% of his spy games.
That's indecent.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Wonder what he does that makes him so successful as Spy on this map. Maybe we could work it out here. We've got an early flirt. Now we're going over towards this briefcase, but we don't quite get there in time. A good redirect towards the blue bookshelf. I'm not entirely sure if Turnipboy is going to reward such things, but we are going to find a fingerprint off it.
Lazybear keeps trying it. Did it twice in one library game, and I don't think either was seen there either. Lazybear just trying to get those lowlights of a nature that Turnipboy is not accustomed to handing out.
Fingerprint puts us in good position. Unfortunately, our seduction target's at a window, meaning he will move, but it looks like he's going to another window pad. It's so tempting as Alice to try and chase him. If he takes a sip, it would be a great move. Unfortunately, he doesn't. And so now he moves away, but maybe we can use our siren song. Yes, we do. We pull him in. We attempt to flirt by the looks of it, but unfortunately we do a fake contact. Maybe it's real. A real intention. Either way, it is fake. 63% with a green flirt. We're still in a position where another green up close will get us that flirt.
Yeah, you really would wish it were a little closer. The suction target's so far away, I think the siren song was just a little off-key.
Lazybear looks like he might head over towards the bar now. Or the bookshelf, there's a fingerprint over here. Yep, and that's going to be our second fingerprint, our second book visit to secure those. I like getting them off books, though, because if you don't do the action chest and if the sniper stares you down, then potentially you lose heat.
Yeah, potentially you get a low light. We saw that earlier, that temporary low light, just for putting the book back even, for that matter, before seeing whether or not it was even going to be a microfilm. Just wasting that time, taking the book out for a ride, so to speak, and returning it safely home, that alone can get you low light from someone. And when you're doing it for a fingerprint, it's a low light for mission progress.
Turnipboy, not really the more behaviorist sniper style. Unfortunately, we hit the white test bin and we don't quite get the 3 flirt we wanted here. We do have to come back and visit Salmon later on. The ambassador leaves the circle. Another silent conversation for half a second, but Lazybear quickly jumps on that and corrects it. Red book in hand, maybe we look for a direct transfer. Alice, Rocker, the double agent, is in a circle that we can join very quickly. Contact split seems like a good play, but it's a white test.
In the end of red.
And it looks like we will stick it through.
And that's going to knock out, I think, at least 3 highlights. That's a pretty rough one, and that's the second contact that's gone off. The first real one, though.
Lazybear's eyeing up the blue bookshelf, potentially thinking that's the best place to return the book. With 48 seconds left, we don't have a highlight yet, so we aren't a huge suspect. But if Turnipboy is able to track books, it is good. And oh no, heartbreak. It is going to be the seduction target, leaving us another time. Lazybear has to return this to the wrong bookshelf, and indeed, we'll go to the blue book here. Turnipboy laser is on us, but that is a very default position for the laser. Highlight is going to come through, just thinking now that this book isn't where it belongs. 22 seconds and 2 mission completions needed if we are going to find the spy win. Heading on over to what looks like the statue, wanting to swap it, but that might just be enough for a shot, and it is.
Wow, it absolutely is. And it was funny, the seduction target sat there, I think, for almost a minute and a half straight, didn't move at all until the spy entered again, and the siren song ends with a record screech.
Really rough stuff there for Lazybear. Not able to find those flirts on the Dern, kill you, quite literally, as the spy. And now we go into our next map, all to play for 7-5. Well, in regular season, Lazybear would have won the series, but a best of 16 means things are a little bit more forgiving in Courtyard, a map where seemingly in Challenger anything can happen.
I mean, a lot of people say, Courtyard at least has had this established way of playing 3 soft tiles plus 1, but yes, I've seen a lot of shenanigans happen in recent times. Courtyard, nice little map. The sniper can move in 360 degrees around, 2 sets of 2 statues, 2 inspects to complete that mission, 2 suspected double agents, any 4-7, no bookcases. Is that an apt description? Oh, and unfortunately, Toby can't lazy his way behind the bar anymore, as he has to get up and walk around.
Gotta earn his tips here tonight at Courtyard.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one because it's so ingrained the way that you get your mission completes in spies that anything that's just slightly different can be enough to throw the sniper a new one here. We'll have to see if Turnipboy can do it. Has the better statistics heading in onto this map. Overall, a 64% win rate to the 57% of Lazybears. A better spy and a better sniper as fact. So Turnipboy is really hoping that this can be the map that brings him back into the series. As general, we'll have to see what he does play at in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I don't like using the phrase must win until it's literally true, but this is as close as it gets without being literally true. Your back is almost against the wall here if you're Turnipboy.
And Turnipboy plays a very similar spy most times, always looking for those fingerprints. Early statue visit, though, this is a little bit out of the norm. Lazybear will throw the highlight that way. But fingerprint, often the case for Turnipboy, wants them as much as possible. The ambassador takes our spot in the conversation. We path right next to him. Lazybear, I wonder how he felt about the pathing. Now he leaves the conversation, but we're not going to jump straight in because we don't want to give the sniper any reason to shoot us.
It's just too suspicious there to look like you're going to enter a spot, wait for someone to leave, and then go there anyway. It shows a level of intentionality that spies exhibit far more than AIs.
Here comes Toby with a drink offer, but we are going to reject it very quickly. 34% flirt, and the double agent joins us in this crusade for a spy win. Good time to actually contact here. Quite a few people in conversation with suspected double agents, and the contact does come through. A couple of lowlights able to be reached out for, but actually quite a few highlights in conversations with SDAs as well.
There were 3 hard lowlights available. Lazybear got 2 of them, Twin being the missed one.
And that would have been a good one as well, because Twin with a statue visit. Here comes Toby for a second drink offer. This time, what does Turnipboy fancy? Well, he fancies a drink, but not one and a guest list, just trying to blend in. But there it is, that first fingerprint we talked about.
Yeah, you called it, absolutely. This is just, even if people know you like to do this on Courtyard, it's so hard to shoot for, because AIs will occasionally complete fingerprint. Again, especially if the banana bread is good, or in this case, if they only get 2 out of 3 possible lowlights from it.
And the fact that that banana bread contact of the double agent happened whilst the ambassador was taking a drink may just be enough to kind of make it hard. But oh my god, we are
Lazybear's on it.
What is this?
Wow.
I'm not even sure what that's for.
Selling out on the fingerprint, maybe. I don't know if we missed an etiquette break. Oh, goodness.
I don't think we did. That is insane stuff. And now we have to figure out what Lazybear saw.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that it could be a mistake. Maybe worried about that ambassador path we talked about earlier. Maybe just a little afraid of a bug that wasn't actually attempted. Sometimes that can work against you. When you're near the ambassador without bugging, sometimes you get all the downside suspicion of a bug without even trying to get one.
And Lazybear says that he was pretty suspicious of the fact that Toby kind of went over to General immediately after the drink take of the ambassador. Skipped out a lot of patrons that may have wanted drinks from Toby. And so from that point onwards, knowing that Turnipboy's plan is fingerprints makes him a very top suspect.
Well, it was immediate, yes, and it was all the way across a totally different conversation too, which is very noticeable when Toby makes a beeline for someone like that. So in that case, it's just really strong game planning from Lazybear and then the execution to back it up. And now they are 1 game away from this upset.
Match point, and yeah, it truly would be an upset with Lazybear finishing 13th in regular season, coming into this SCL Challenger tournament, I believe, as the 11th seed. Correct me if I'm wrong.
10th, yeah.
10th seed, and Turnipboy, of course, finishing 3rd seed overall in the regular season, and coming into this tournament as the number 1. 10th versus 1. Well, it's not too far away from the top of these players, but truly Lazybear, the underdog.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just match point, tournament point, right here, right now.
Track, would you say this is a must-win?
I would say, for Turnipboy, this is officially, Wii U, a must-win game.
I will quote you on that. All right, take us in.
Here it is. Turnipboy's sniper to keep himself alive in this series. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Not only is this a must-win, but this is the second time that Turnipboy has got this close to an auto-promotion out of Challenger, and someone threatens it. First off in week 10 when he could have secured it, but wasn't able to. Now it is Lazybear, the newcomer, the unexpected finalist here, potentially, from some, threatening a spy win to take it all away.
That's a great point. Turnipboy has had a tremendous season, just missed the auto-promote in the regular season, and now on the verge of just missing it here too. There will be other opportunities immediately and maybe down the road as well if the SCL is restructured as so many expect. But still, you want to get that priority in any restructuring that happens. Turnipboy so close to letting it slip through his fingers a second time.
Very interesting choice to fake the contact here. Comes from the fact that we knew the double agent wasn't in our conversation because he recently left. And so we know it's a fake. Lazybear's trying to throw Turnipboy false information. But now we step over to the statues to look for our inspects here. And Turnipboy was so suspicious that Orange Dress might find a bug.
Yeah, and this might ruin the inspects. No, the ambassador will leave in time. I think what Lazybear might be doing here, the fact they went to statues right after a fake makes me think they might have been going all in on trying to get a low light and saying, I hope they're going to assume real. Maybe something like that. But if that was the plan, it hasn't happened.
43% on our flirt. We take a path all the way around the statue block here to pick up this head. We're actually swapping it immediately. It's a white test. Hasn't been spotted yet by Turnipboy. As he rotates around the statue, it says he still hasn't seen it, but now may see it as Orange Dress leaves. It's a bird, no longer a head, and here comes the shot.
I didn't see anyone at statues before Lazybear, so I don't think it was a frame attempt. I think it might have just been aggression, and that fits with what I was saying earlier about going to statues immediately afterwards. Kind of makes you think they were banking on getting a low light for the fake.
Yeah, Queen had been to the statue next to the one Lazybear swapped.
Yeah.
So maybe a mismemory, but it was a long time ago. And at that point, actually, was she a low-lightable character? She may have been as well from the contact. Yeah, she was. So definitely doesn't feel like it was an intended frame, just aggression.
Just aggression, yeah. And again, might have worked if you do something low-lightable early in the game. Sometimes you just want to find out, behave as if it worked, maybe. And aggression, always its own justification as spy, especially on a map where your spy win rate against a good sniper might be pretty low anyway.
Here we are, on to the gallery. And very interestingly enough, gallery, a map pick that Turnipboy has not really played much this season. In fact, has a really high pick rate for gallery, but almost always his last map of choice in a series that he picks gallery, and so hasn't played a huge amount of maps on it, which I guess could be deceiving because we don't have the statistical analysis to be able to back up whether this is a good map pick for him or not. Maybe it's just a map that he feels comfortable on, but it's a map that is deceivingly long, as Hummus is showing with his beautiful camera work here. To get from point A to B, to get from mission site A to B, actually requires a decent amount of effort and walking time. Not to mention, the two conversation circles make contacting a little bit more difficult for the spy because you are essentially having to give up more lowlights than other maps.
And Flirt can take so much time. It's one of the only maps where you can make a reasonable argument for cutting virtually any mission.
Luckily, you don't have to cut any missions because
we are going to be jumping on.
There we go. Yeah, and somebody please nominate this man for best SpyParty cast cinematography.
And move on. We're good.
This is such an important spy round for Turnipboy. It's not the position you ever want to be in a series where you have to spy to survive the push it to a tiebreaker potential. And Turnipboy, that is his only option here. 8 points, match point. Lazybear in the lead, and Turnipboy spying in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Hummus comparing himself to Curon, not appreciating the gravity of the situation.
Oh my god.
And as I solo cast the rest of this grand final here, Turnipboy looks over towards the conversation circle with both the double agent and the seduction target, but no entry point. It's a disastrous position to be in where you're just wasting time on gallery.
Yeah, really rough to go out there and see two missions staring in you in the face, so close and yet so far. Finally, Seek leaves and allows us to get some progress.
And the end of red.
Contact and the green flirt. 48% means we can't quite hit that 2. We are now going to move out of this conversation circle and get our move on. And unfortunately for Turnipboy, the suspected double agent was not in that top conversation from what I saw, meaning that only the people in the bottom of the map have a real contact.
It was a reasonable inference that there might have been an SDA there, or a DA rather. But in this case, not to be. You play the odds. Sometimes you're wrong anyway.
Yeah, no, I think on gallery, you just have to assume that the SDA will be kind. Unfortunately, though, Turnipboy doesn't quite get that luck. Here comes that green flirt, but no, it's a 99% because we weren't close enough for the first one. And that can come back to haunt you just a little bit because you don't want to be completing Seduce on this map.
No, it's difficult on any venue to get 99% potentially and still try to finish in a reasonable amount of time, but on gallery, it's brutal.
Oh, okay, I would have gone to the statue here, picked up an inspect, picked up a flirt, but Smallman breaks our hearts and takes out Our Lady. Now we're just coming to requesting a drink from Toby. Maybe we go for the Purloin. It's a red test though. Oh no, blinking guest list. Lazybear zooming. Does
not on screen at all.
Flash? Yes, he does. He sees it's gone. That's a big fat highlight now over to Turnipboy, and lots of lowlights now coming through. How many lowlights will he be willing to take? How many highlights will he take as well is the question.
He was zoomed all the way out and had a far left angle, basically very difficult compared to where he could have been looking, normally would have been looking on gallery there. given that it was a red test, that could have gone a lot worse.
We're not dead yet. Maybe with this position in the circle, we can find ourselves a bug as the ambassador comes back past, and if the seduction target steps in as well, then flirt is a good point. Turnipboy, stick it out, wait for the attempt for the bug, and you might find yourself a spy win.
Might be better. The seduction target almost helped us out there in our time of need, but doesn't, and leaves instead, and waiting, I think, for both the ambassador and the seduction target to go somewhere to plan their next move. It's all set up.
It was all set up for the bug, and Turnipboy didn't trust the ambassador. This is what comes down to experience on gallery. You need it. Seduction target will find our flirt here at the painting, the blue, staring into the internal abyss, potentially hoping that we can find a bug to finish this game off. There's so many good spots to find bugs in this area. Turnipboy, will you go for it is the question. He's waiting out the ambassador, but you can get yourself into an almost catch-all scenario. Here it is, looking for that bug. It's Duke, has a very strong sidearm bug. Here it is, the bug happens. You just have to assume it's happened.
Oh,
if you're
wow.
the sniper, it is going to be the shot looked. The dance attempt won't be finding any success. And Lazybear is your challenger, single limb tournament champion.
And what a shot, too. Turnipboy did everything almost perfectly there at the end of the game. They didn't take the bug that you were recommending, and I think that might have been a bit of a mistake, but the ambassador is so obliging in the waning seconds of that game. The bug so close to invisible, but again, we see that Lazybear getting strong lowlights and anticipating vulnerabilities before they happen, sees that little fist go out for the bug, and what is an excellent bug in any other circumstance, because Lazybear has controlled the party so well, is able to devote the attention necessary to win the game, the match, and the tournament.
Yeah, and Duke's bug on this map with his right arm is one of the strongest due to the fact that one of his arms sits behind and the other one by its side. You can't really see the bugs very easily. If he was in the conversation as the ambassador walked past and he would have been in range for a walking bug, then potentially you don't see the bug at all. But unfortunately for Turnipboy, it is that split-second decision that sometimes costs you the spy games. And a second time this season for Turnipboy, he has been so close to achieving that auto-promotion. For the second time, it gets taken away from him. Thankfully, as runner-up, as commiserations to him, he does get to have a third attempt, lucky 3 times, where he'll play Mr. Rogers from the Iron Division in a promotion hazard match.
And he can hold his head high with the way it went down, too. It didn't end on something unsatisfying like that red purloin, although they may have contributed to why he was such a big suspect late, certainly. It ends on a great bug and a great view from the sniper. What we always want to see. We want to see great play countered by greater play. That's exactly what we saw here. A fitting end to a fine tournament and 2 talented players duking it out at the top.
Really nice stuff. And Lazybear has exhibited mental fortitude in some intense series over the season. Finishes off this season with some ridiculous statistics to go to his name. And that finishes things off with a 13-win, 3-loss, 1 draw, putting his win percentage for his first inaugural season as Spy at a pretty high percentage, at 76.47% overall. Definitely a position you want to be in as a up-and-coming challenger.
Yeah, and I want to single out 2 things, 2 points of praise for Lazybear, things that are a little atypical. We've cast a lot of games, and these are 2 things you don't see very often. One is the patience as sniper. We talked about that early in the night, holding those shots, even when you know he must be almost positive, but technically waiting for that last little bit of positivity. 99% sure, not good enough. Wait for 100%, take the shot. Very hard to teach. The other thing being mission flexibility as Spy. Lazybear, as you mentioned, on some of those maps, likes to get lots of different missions done, showed hardtails, showed softtails, showed pacing, showed rushing, showed time adds, was able to adjust their play. You can't bank on them doing any one mission or discount them doing any others. Those 2 things presage great things, I think, for Lazybear.
Yeah, and when you also look to the fact that I don't know what I was going to say. I had a really good point. You know what? It doesn't matter. Look to the fact that Lazybear is he's a new player to the game. Came in the Steam generation of players, and it has already started adopting a behavioralistic sniper style. That's super promising. I mean, Drawn Onward is a little bit biased, but he would 100% say that if you want to be a good sniper today, then learn to camp. you want to be a good sniper tomorrow, then learn to be a behavioralist, and Lazybear's on that track.
I mean, it's
he is absolutely.
So like, you know, that's like 6-7 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Already better tomorrow. Yeah, and a well-earned victory today anyway.
I disagree with that statement.
Not that well earned.
So that brings us to the end of tonight's cast. Thank you so much to Dowsy and Warning Track for joining us for our casting. Dowsy, I know you stream, I know you Twitter. I think you Twitter, at least I know you stream. Do you have anything you want to plug real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Dowsy GG everywhere. So go follow me everywhere in the streets. You know, when I'm going to different places. Yeah, I stream. We'll be streaming soonish, so you can chuck me a follow on Twitter if you are at Twitch if you want to get that notification. And also keep up with my progress, I guess, in other tournaments because it's getting pretty exciting.
Track anything?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, SpyPartyFans.com, SpyPartyFans on Twitter, SpyPartyFans on Twitch, which, as the name would indicate, is for fans of SpyParty, which you are if you are listening to me right now. And I want to mention, by the way, that the Penny Arcade Expo West, PAX, as we call it, PAX, is SpyParty's home and has been for a shocking number of years, really. And dozens of SpyParty enthusiasts are going to be there en masse. We're going to have something close to 200,000 combined games in a very modest but very substantive booth. If you are going to PAX, and I'm sure some of you are, please come over and say hello and, I don't know, get our autographs, something like that, or just say hello and play us. Either way, there'll be a lot of fun.
That he could beat anyone who challenged him at PAX.
I totally said that. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, yeah, that doesn't sound made up at all. Yeah, bring it on, everyone.
What he said, yep, we're going to be at booth 1500. We'll have some places set up so you can demo the game. And Checker has promised some sort of surprise, and we're all wondering what that is. Yeah. Anyway, I am Lieutenant Hummus. You can follow me on Twitch and Twitter at LTHummus. The game is SpyParty. Come visit us at PAX booth 1500 next weekend. Oh my gosh, next weekend. It starts in less than a week. You can also find the game on Steam for $25 USD. You can also find it at www.spyparty.com. On behalf of Warren...
You can actually find it now as well because the payment process is fixed. Yeah.
That's not just something we say every cast and have to correct ourselves with. It's actually true. You can buy it at spyparty.com. And you should.
Yeah. We're not entirely sure what other SpyParty competitive league streams will come in the future due to the fact that it is hazard and promotion matches and they happen crazily. But if you guys do want more competitive SpyParty content, next week the Summer Cup is taking over the weekend slots whilst everyone enjoying at PAX. We should have our semi-finals for the Summer Cup 2018 at 3 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. UK on Saturday. And then the bronze match, the third place decider between the unfortunate two losers of the semi-finals will take place on Sunday at 3 p.m. as well, Pacific time, 11 p.m. UK. So next week, tune in if you want more SpyParty competitive play. And unfortunately, you can't be at
that's
PAX.
all going to be
unfortunately.
Right? TV/SpyParty.
Yeah, this channel, twitch.tv/SpyParty.
The Summer Cup winds down at the same time as the summer. Very fitting.
Since actually we're not quite sure if this is going to be the last SCL cast for this season, you know what? We might as well say some thank you. So thank you to everyone who's casted. Thank you to all of the players who played. Thanks to Crazy Kaylee for setting it up. Wodar for, putting together all of these casts. Checker for letting us, take over his channel and playing his game. Basically anyone who ever had anything to do with any SpyParty. Oh, a Forgotten Tune for making the SCL front end, all sorts of stuff to kind of make this tournament work as well as it has. And a fitting end, I think, that Track sent me like literally in the minutes before this cast a recap video he put together.
Oh no.
So I will leave you with that. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.